Hello everyone and welcome back for round 8 win and in action here from Bremen Regional Championships. This is crunch time and calling it with me is Amy. How was that last game?
That was incredible. It was such a thrill to watch. I was genuinely really excited to watch that one, and hopefully we'll have another great set of games ahead. We've got a couple more rounds to go yet.
Yeah, so it is win and in crunch time now.
Yep.
So we could technically bring everyone the top tables, but the top tables are in positions where they're already guaranteed for day 2. So they could be IDing just to lock it up, and just be like, cool, I'm kind of done for the day. I want to go take a couple of hours off and get some rest. But some people want to play it out and try and push for the high seeding in day 2 to basically give them the edge ready for tomorrow. It's fewer wins you need tomorrow. If we're going to be looking at like a 30, 32 point kind of bubble for top 8, like it's more points you can get now, the better. But we are going to bring you an all UK matchup now. We are bringing you Connor Bird versus Demetris Eaton. Two people who, if you go to a local event in the UK, you've probably met at least one of them at some point. Like I know for a fact Demetris was on like a big grind before lockdown of like getting the points, and is like especially now as well. So people that you'll see all over the place if you've played, also elsewhere as well. So like you'll see them come into all these regional championships. I think actually no Connor Bird and Demetris might have even been in Bilbao, Lille. So like they've travelled a lot already this year.
Yeah.
And they're bringing 2 different builds of RCS again.
Yes, 2 very different builds and ones that will interact interestingly with each other. So hopefully this should be a really interesting game.
Yeah. So what we're going to see is the RCS Inteleon with a Beedrill attacker, which is actually really nice in the mirror. The ability to take out that first RCS V-Star, if you can line it up, is really, really clutch from Demetris. Meanwhile, Connor is going to be playing the RCS Bibarrel with Jolteons and Malamar. So might have the ability to turn off some of the engine and kind of disrupt the setup.
That's what we can hope.
So prize cards are down now. We're basically ready to go. And nothing too major prized for either player there. A few ball search cards for Demetris means that opening round is going to, like opening a couple of turns, is going to be a little bit more awkward for Connor. Nothing too major. And as we see the handshake, and off they go. So awkward start there for Connor as he draws for the turn. Yeah, starting that lone Zigzagoon, which is not something you want. It's something you want to save on for later.
Well, we got a little bit Bidoof already to come and help them out, so it's not all lost yet.
No, does manage to get the bench down. It's also not a matchup where you're super worried first turn. It's not likely Arceus is going to get in attacking.
No, absolutely, and that's going to be for both players because Arceus doesn't start attacking too soon. It doesn't really need to. It can take its time a little bit. It needs a couple of different energy attach options, and any acceleration really can't be done on your first turn.
No, so what you're going to see is to get the Arceus, get ideally the attach down as is usual, and should be able to put it all together. And from there, basically kind of say, cool, going first in this particular style of matchup is a huge deal because you say, look, I'm going to get my first turn to use the V-Star ability, and just having that turn means that you can then go, cool, grab your own path of the peak and disrupt. But we'll see instantly the Marnie from Demetris.
Hopefully it will guide them to a better hand and maybe some more basics down.
Yeah, we do see
2 quick balls and a sobble.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a rather good Marnie.
Does draw out of the slightly awkward start, but can't really get too much value. Can't go into the keep calling here because you've already used the attachment on that active RCSV. So not an ideal scenario, but at least you're still sort of getting set up, getting the board built. Yeah. Start thinking about the next couple of turns.
There is an evolution in Sense in hand, so we can get the V-Star ready and use the ability as well, Starbirth, so there's options here.
Well, and actually, like, the nice thing about getting that Sobble is that Evo in Sense in hand is now a Drizzle.
Yes, exactly.
So it basically means, cool, you go sort out whatever you need next turn to basically set yourself up.
Yeah, so this is a nice setup turn.
Especially into the fairly solid but not fantastic start from Connor. You know, has the attach down, but slightly awkward. Needs to find a way of moving it, as we'll just see the RCSV get powered up and is now ready to go. and straight into the V-Star. So did get Marnied back into it. And now we're likely to see the big turn set up, try and get maybe attacking. Find a way of getting the damage modifiers in to maybe take the KO.
Yeah,
seems
there's a
unlikely.
possibility. There goes our first Starbirth of the game.
Searching the deck for any 2 cards. This is why lists now often contain so many one-offs, and you can see all of the individual cards and unique cards in a list using our new plugin. So you can kind of get an idea of what tech options people are playing.
Absolutely, and now that Connor's done their Starbirth, will they opt to attempt to get the path to the peak to stop Demetris from doing the same?
So we'll see the switch as well. This is a big thing, and now you're getting meaningful damage down turn 2. But looks like now we see the attack, but no effort going into the path to the peak.
No dig for a path, no Starbirth for path. So there could be another Starbirth this game.
Yeah, and it's actually really important to note that that path to the peak, I think, sticks.
Yes,
I'm looking at Demetris' list, and I see 2 training court. That's about it. So
yeah, compared to what?
3 path, but one's already discarded.
Path. Yes, one was discarded earlier.
So Stadium Wall's going to be interesting in this matchup as we see him just grab his own V-Star, go and search. And this is where the deck starts getting pretty spooky for Connor, because if he's able, Demetris is able to pull off the mustard this turn, and with a Starbirth, it's pretty likely get the B-draw and attack. 2 prize cards, just gone.
Just straight away, really early lead from there. It'll be an interesting set of prize journeys because they're both playing Arceus, but with single prizes, and they both do very different things.
I'm actually looking at this going, maybe boss, like switch out boss, so that you can take out the RCS without special energies on the bench.
Yeah, because you're going to be relying on B-draw later. So, yeah, absolutely. I would think that would be a better solution right now, because the scary Arceus is definitely that benched V.
Yeah. And going for the Jolteon.
Yes, get rid of that. Get rid of that Jolteon. It's going to turn off their Drizzile engine.
So there goes the Eevee. No Jolteon for Connor this turn, at very least. I think he's playing quite a fairly thick line of the Eevees. I think it's like 3-2.
Oh, wow. So that's probably the largest Eevee line we've seen.
Yeah,
today.
like definitely prepared and like ready to make sure that they can get the pressure consistently.
It's definitely working, clearly.
Yeah, and get that locked down, because like 5-1-1 is like clearly they'll have hit Arceus. We've seen a lot of Arceus in the tournament for today, so
they'll have definitely met very similar decks, mirrors, and then the other Arceus decks, because there are so many variants of this right now.
And just goes in and attacks, gets the 180 damage done.
Yep.
Doesn't bother with any of the extra attachments, because, I mean, I guess you can put it on Zigzagoon for that surprise attack, which would indeed be a surprise in this matchup, as we see a level ball come down from Demetris.
And it'll also depend, whenever you're thinking about the Arceus mirror, if either of them are playing Sharon's Care or not. Will Sharon care about this matchup?
Yep. So it will be a lot of damage picked up if that's a play that could be made right now, right? Like, removing 180 off the board would be pretty sweet.
Would be pretty big, and especially for Demetris, if that's an option, that's a pivot into a B. It wouldn't surprise me if that play came up today.
Instead, EO Intense can now start picking the pieces together, can either go into a Drizzle or the big shady dealings in Talion, which is what we see this time.
Lovely. I wonder if they are thinking about threatening the B on the bench.
I'm actually thinking, maybe they go B now.
That's what I'm saying. I think they might go Ultra Ball Mustard and then thin their hand down and B now, because they could manual retreat that Arceus if they don't have anything in hand. I'm not sure what is in their hand right now, but possibly they are. They're going for the B. You'd love to see it.
Yeah, so this will be the single strike mustard turn. Very reminiscent of things like Archie's hidden ball trick, I think it was. And then there's also a So like there was one for 2 different types. And now we'll see the single strike mustard come down, grab the bee, and draw 5 cards. Important by keeping that subble available. You can push your outs off these 5 cards into things like Scoop Up Net, Evo Incenses, Level Balls for the Drizzle. So you get a few more ways of trying to grab energies out of the deck if you need to.
Did they hit? And I think that, is there an energy search there that I saw? No, it's a Scoop Up Net. Oh, so they could Drizzle.
They can indeed Drizzle. And Training Court if there's one in discard, which they can guarantee by like retreating, right? Like
Yeah,
they can
hard
retreat.
the Arceus. Drizzle for the Training Court. So yeah, absolutely, that the bee is an option.
And I think there's also an energy search, but it looks like
They've
instead
gone for the
no.
attack?
Yeah, they've just gone for the attack. They've just gone, okay, this is probably not how I wanted it to go, and I'm going to have to sacrifice this Arceus to get it to pay off. But
The threat of the bee is still good, though, because the bee with the secondary attack can still KO a damaged Arceus if it doesn't have the special energy on it, right? So even if later on they need to use the bee drill a bit more aggressively to something with basic energy on, 110 damage is still significant.
Well, exactly. Like if you can make the Beedrill the next prize card that Connor takes, you force him into a slightly awkward prize trade.
Yeah.
Whereas Demetris is already 1 prize up, so doesn't feel the need to like super pressure as we see the retreat, discarding the special energy. Importantly, obviously it's the more efficient way of retreating, but it does mean that the Beedrill is not a threat for this Arceus.
No.
Well, other than it can just take the KO with the grass energy, but you know.
But they could do damage with the Beedrill, force Connor to take the Beedrill as their next prize card, and then bring another Arceus forward and KO the Arceus V-Star. So it is a 2-hit KO situation either way because it's a fresh Arceus, but it's not impossible to still get a KO with the bee on that one.
So Scoop Up Net on, big Inteleon, big Shady Dealings is back in hand. And I love the fact that this is how it works, because like you kind of telegraph to your opponent, right, next turn, I've got 2 cards. And you know I'm getting 2 cards, and you know they're going to be good ones.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make you think twice about what's about to happen. As we see the Ordinary Rod going, well, I kind of liked the energy in that Arceus line that you knocked out.
So I'll have that back, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sort that out.
Pop that back in deck.
And then energy search to grab the energy back out. And attach to the active, yep. Does need to find a way of getting an attacker going. Oh, that'll do it.
That will do it indeed. Ultra Ball for that Arceus V-Star. We just grabbed back an extra one just in case.
The only issue is it does unfortunately have a lot of damage on it, which means that this is basically just trading not quite one-shots for things and just kind of going back and forth. So this 2-hit knockout war is in Connor's favor because of the amount of damage already on the active.
But 2 damaged Arceus V-Star is still quite scary.
It is, but like, it's not as if
Connor should be afraid of the bee still.
He should be, but it's not as if Demetris can really exploit it here. Outside of like the next KO will be a bee. He needs to take 5 prize cards.
It's a lot, yeah, and that will gain 4, but it's still, it gives the flexibility of being able to claw it back a little bit, just because they can force a single prize return KO. So
we see the research, and the Eevee hit the board again. This Eevee hitting the board does, again, put Demetris in a position going, well, I need to think twice about what's going to happen next turn, as we see the Ultra Ball grabbed and played, discarding 2 other gold Ultra Balls, which is a lot of bling. And just to thin the hand, ready to draw cards with the barrel. Does mean that Connor is probably digging for something. I mean, he has the KO on the active. What would you be looking for here if you were Connor?
If they play Sharon's Care.
Excellent point.
I'd probably be looking for Sharon's Care, because it's really the only way that Demetris can bring this back, right?
This is true. I don't see any copies in the list, though, so there is no
so
heal.
Maybe they're just digging for that Jolteon and the memory capsule to go with it.
We'll see the Malamar now. And this Malamar threatening to just start disrupting the hand as well. So you basically say, cool, your engine's turned off, and I'm also just going to start like reducing the number of outs in your hand turn by turn. When you can only draw a card, one card per turn, I can slowly whittle away your resources.
Absolutely. So it's 2 more prize cards for Connor. So they're in a very strong position here, but didn't hit any of the energy that's in their prize cards. Not that they particularly need it right now.
No, there's already one in hand. As we see big shady dealings, like I said, you kind of know it's in hand, you know it's going to get you, but sometimes you can't do much about it. And I think that's really the issue here, is whilst Demetris can take the KO on the active, and then KO with the Beedrill or something, there's only 2 prize cards left for Connor to take.
Yeah, it's not looking great, unfortunately.
As Raihan and Boss's orders go back into the deck.
And we can reuse that Inteleon Drizzile all over again. So down goes Drizzile straight away to bring in Raihan. Excellent. Give a little bit of acceleration for this RCS.
And grabs a card from the deck to the hand. And this back and forth and ability to be really precise and almost surgical with choosing exactly what cards you want when is one of the biggest strengths of this RCS Inteleon engine. As we see, the training court guarantee the attachment for turn 2.
And then, oh, I wonder what we took with that
Yeah,
Raihan.
and there comes the V-Star taking the knockout and is able to tank the hit at least. So
Yes, so
puts
that's
it back in kind of even trade.
Yes, we're in a good position here. Really good position for Demetris, actually. That kind of brings it back a little bit. Again, the Beedrill can still take a knockout. It could take a knockout on this Arceus. It could take a knockout on the Eevee or on the Zigzagoon. So they're in a really good position here to bring it back, because knocking out this damaged Arceus straight away gives them 2 prize cards, and then it's only 1 boss's order away from taking out the Zigzagoon.
Yeah, and actually important to know, you actually can take 2 prizes in theory off of things like the Manamar VMAX.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
the Manamar VMAX is actually weak to grass. It doesn't
is.
have enough damage to do it naturally.
Nope.
It is short, but is it, I think, 110 with its second attack?
Yeah, it's 110.
Okay, so even with a choice band, it's still short.
It is, yeah.
Otherwise, would be able to pick off this Manamar in its entirety.
Yeah, 310 is just a little bit too chunky for Beedrill.
As we see the path. Path at this point, a little bit pointless. It's only turning off the V-Star ability, which has been used.
It's just taking that training court away from Demetris, because again, Beedrill doesn't have any energy on it, and Beedrill's attack that does 110 discards an energy, so then you can just keep grabbing it back each turn. So it does shut down what Demetris is doing a little bit just by removing his stadium.
And a fresh 5 from the Marnie, including the memory capsule. So there goes the engine for Demetris.
Yep. No more searching for what they'd like, unless they drew into something that can help them. Looks like a Marnie in hand at least, so they might be able to get out of this
and
later, but not right now.
But it is important to note that it's not a one-hit knockout, right? So
yes,
you have to set it up, and yes, you set up your Manamar here, but I don't think there's enough basic energy left in the deck.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think he has another dark, so unless we can get a Raihan, because I don't think Connor's used one yet, have they?
I don't know. They may have discarded it though.
May have, yeah. So it depends on a few small factors. They could get it back.
No, and this is the line, right? By only having that one attachment and now being kind of stuck. When this Arceus V-Star goes down, you are out of attacking options for a turn, and Demetris only needs 1 prize card, which means that Zigzagoon is just a boss away from being KO'd, right?
Yeah.
So it does get a little spooky.
There's a Drizzile, but they can't do much with that. What's the last card? Oh, I think that was a double turbo energy, which again is not helpful. And
No, it's not set.
Arceus in hand. Neither player's looking great here.
No, but these are actually the games which really can test your mettle as a player, right?
100%.
It's all great when things are going to plan, but kind of working out, okay, things are not really how I drew it up, and having to get there is really cool. As I think Demetris might take...
Training court.
Taking the training court here is actually huge.
That is massive. If Connor could pull off an attack this turn, fantastic. If they can't, Demetris getting that training court could be huge, because even if they do a little bit of damage with the Beedrill, that's massive because Connor, without a boss, they do have one in hand, mind, can't take their last 2 price cards in the way they want to.
Yeah, so we see a level ball discarding a level ball, just thinning the hand down because like none of the cards in hand right now are helping. I don't know if the Raihan's still in deck. If the Raihan's still in deck, this is going to be a huge barrel draw, as that's really the only way to take the KO. But if you can take the KO, you do win.
Yeah, it's if the Raihan is still in deck, it is worth digging and thinning the deck as much as possible at this point.
So I think there's some conversation happening. Okay, I think it's just a conversation. Just a quick judge call, just judge check to make sure everything was correct. And we'll now see. Kind of checking the discard pile, which is always a sign of like, okay, I'm expecting to need a particular out here. Like, you only really check the discard pile when you know your opponent needs something very specific, and you check to see how many counts they have. But it looks like this is a whiff of an attack this turn.
They've got a capture energy, which puts them 1 energy closer, but not quite enough, and they're not going to be able to Raihan next turn unless Demetris does take a knockout.
Yeah, and she's going to have to pass the turn here. And now it is basically a game of... Oh, wait. The training court just means game because that capture needs a special energy.
It is. So they can just be training court, hard retreat into the B, and they've got game.
Yeah. So does Demetris spot the fact that it's not just double turbo energies that you have to be wary of as specials?
It's any special energy. We just need that 1 grass energy, which will be in discard pile when they hard retreat.
Yep.
They just need to put...
Oh, no, they got Marnied out of it, I think, right? So.
Oh, did they? Ah.
So played the manual retreat, passes. So doesn't have an out.
No, doesn't have the grass energy. Oh, no. Yes, they did get Marnie. Oh, no, the training court's still in hand.
So he had the training court.
The training court's in hand. And if they'd have hard retreated, the grass energy would have gone to discard pile. Yeah, it's in hand.
Well, now I'm confused. But
you know, nerves.
Yeah.
A bundle of nerves, I would be.
And then we're going to see. Are we going to see a drag off here? I think we are. We're going to see a drag off, force the switch, and back basically into exactly the same situation as we were last turn, but 40 damage closer on this.
On this RCS.
So getting pretty close to KO. Let's just tidy up these dice, please. Thank you. I can't count if it's all in 5s and 3s. I want my 6s on dice. Years of doing things.
I'm still really trying to see if that training court is in hand because I'm befuddled and I feel like it is.
Well, clearly it isn't.
It must not be.
And basically it now comes down to, does Connor have a way of drawing an energy? But he has the capture energy again in hand, so I don't know. No, I think it's too dark, isn't it, for the basic Malamar?
It is too dark.
Oh, no, for the basic Malamar, not for the VMAX.
Oh, the basic Malamar, it is 1 for drag off, but 2 for brain shake.
Okay, so still not quite there. This game is basically going to come down to, yep, drag off, force the switch again, and say, right, do you have the retreat option for game? And we do see it, and
so
that will indeed be it.
So that was game. Woo,
so,
that was close.
So at least it looks like there wasn't a training court in hand. If there was a training court in hand, then that game would have been a little bit different.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, they do run a few in their deck, so there was a potential to draw into it, but that didn't happen either. So very, very close game. That really could have gone to either of them.
Yeah, and it went right down to the wire, right? Like, it looked like it was kind of snowballing early, and then it just kind of stopped on that turn where Connor tried to charge up the Malamar and went, oh
no,
I'm out of basic energy. And the thing is that this is not a matchup where you ever want to be in that situation, right? It's never good when you try and get the acceleration and you can't. But it's even worse when you're like, well, the only way I can power this attacker up now is by basically saying, if you draw a grass energy, B-draw eats me alive.
Yes, absolutely. And having to attach that special energy in that moment must have really been quite scary. I'd have been very afraid.
Yeah. So really interesting matchup. Like, neither was really drawing like optimally there, right? Like it was kind of a slugfest that you get into sometimes when neither's like really clicking, and those can be difficult to kind of make your way through.
Absolutely. But both decks have the potential to do very well against one another. They have they have the ability to. There's no clear advantage from either of them. And neither of them have particularly bad prize cards. Connor just had some energy in there that sadly ended up meaning a lot.
Yeah, so as we see the Eevee start for Connor, not really ideal, but also you don't hate it.
No, Eevee's got a usable attack, right?
Oh, wait, hang on. It looks like Demi's put down 2 sets of prize cards. He's put his prize cards on the display and prize cards over on the thing. So I'm just going to have to sort that out real quick.
Yep.
So Judge is on hand, making sure that this is all handled correctly. And I think we might be having a quick judge call.
Again, nerves happen.
Yep.
I can understand it. We were only talking about extra prize cards a minute ago, so yeah, it does happen.
No, it does, and it's also this is one of the downsides of being on stream. Things are weird, and being on stream and in a win and in, it's already a huge amount of pressure.
And
then you have the fact that you have like a few hundred people at home watching. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in, by the way. But like, it just puts so much extra pressure on that these small little it's a silly mistake, right? It's a silly like of
so
wait,
easy to do.
I have 2 sets of prize cards, especially because like for a little behind the scenes, I normally would put my prize cards out to my left-hand side, right? That's the normal way we'd put it. I'm a right-handed player. But well, on one side of the prize table, you put them out on the wrong side, depending on where you're sat. So
yeah,
you're not used to having them over there. It is a bit confusing.
So probably when you look at your field, you go, oh, I've got no prize cards down. And your brain probably goes on complete autopilot at that point. Mine would. And I'd be shaking in my boots if it were this late in the day. I was having a good run and I was on stream. So I can absolutely put myself in everyone's shoes from here on.
I know, okay, it's a horrible moment. I always feel kind of bad actually choosing the winning innings to go on stream because like obviously everyone at home wants to see it, right? Everyone wants to see the games that matter. But I'm so conscious of the extra stress you put on people that I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like, when it's a player that's like been on stream, like occasionally you get like the Robin and like Stefan game that we had round 1. You'd end up with that now. You're like, okay, you two know how this works. You've been in high pressure situations. This is fine.
We've plonked you here before.
Yeah, but when it is just slightly out of the blue like this, it's really unfortunate.
Yes, and it's a strange situation because it isn't something that would happen very often usually, but having your prize cards away from you as well, not on your playmat because they're on our display, is of course very, very different.
So it looks like everything has been resolved and we're basically underway. And there'll be a 3-minute time extension as a result, just as we were clearing all that up. So imagine there's an extra 3 minutes on the timer for now. I will work out how to do that. And yeah, it's a horrendous situation to put players in, but sometimes you have to do it. But looks like Connor's underway now and is running pretty nicely.
Very nice memory capsule straight away on the Eevee. Energy on Arceus. It's not a bad turn.
Yeah, this looks very much like it's going to be a real good turn 2. That big charm is actually huge for Demetris, otherwise you kind of start getting a bit spooked. But
they've gone in with the attack.
Yeah,
so
they've just had to charge them up. And if this is also a Jolteon, like we see the V-Star in hand. Oh, in fact, this hand is so good for Connor. It's the Evo
really
Incense, the V-Star, and you can go ahead and then research before you search for anything. This hand is insane.
And Demetris won't be able to get their won't be able to get their Sobble lines doing much at all. And unfortunately, it could stay that way for a minute if Connor manages to bring that Jolteon back onto the bench and protect it and then start attacking. This could not end well very suddenly.
Yeah, and I think it's a this is such a strong turn for Connor because you've effectively made half of Demetris' deck dead draws, and he's already dead drawing.
Yes, and Connor has control of possibly path to the peaking here as well.
Yeah.
And then if Demetris had Arceus V-Star in hand, they cannot use it.
Wait, why is he retreating a research? Okay, that's all good. He retreated a research. I was confused. But it was Jolteon. It goes to show, right? It's a high-stress situation. As we see the Malamar hit the bench. The only thing that could happen here that would be amazing is if Demetris has basically bluffed the dead hand.
Oh, they got the path off the draw. They could use their V-Star now and then control the stadium state as well, meaning that Demetris won't be able to do it. So they can't Ultra Ball for the Arceus V-Star and get themselves out of this situation.
I'm not being funny. What are you even V-starring for? You've got
matter.
everything. You've got it all.
It does not matter. You get whatever you want at this stage because they are in such a strong position. Maybe you start setting up another Arceus. Maybe you take a quick ball and something else for fun. Who knows?
Like, when you've hit everything like this, you have the Jolteon lock, you potentially have the ability lock coming in. Like,
they've taken a boss and something else, and I guess, yeah, all it really means is, okay, I did my thing, I can't do it anymore, so there's path to the peak. Demetris, you now can't do it, and that's more important to me.
Yeah, as we'll see, Connor jam the path. Demetris just nod of like, yep, that feels about right.
That hurts, and now we're hoping that for Demetris' sake, they get a stadium off their top deck.
Yeah, so we see the capture energy. We already have a ton of energy in play. We have a Raihan.
We do have the Ultra Ball,
okay.
So they could Ultra Ball for an Arceus and then attach a capture energy and take a Sobble.
Yeah, that's true. Like, you're not out of this game, right? Like, if you can go for the V-Star, you can at least hit in. Capture energy one thing, charge it up with the RCS, so at least you have your second attacker.
Yeah.
And
it hurts,
hope for the best.
But
you get a Raihan off next turn too. Like, I think I saw a Raihan in hand, so like
it's something. Oh, they've gone for it this way. They've gone for the Arceus V-Star attach.
I think wanting to save the cards in hand instead. Couldn't really afford to discard too many things off that Ultra Ball, and instead just going straight into with the attack.
Charging up.
And Trinity charging away. Trinity Novaring, sorry. Trinity charges the Arceus.
Yes. Wow. What a stressful turn for Demetris.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Connor's board looks pretty clean.
It's looking even cleaner now that Malamar VMAX is down as well. And they did go for the second Malamar.
Yeah. So will we see two VMAX hit the board this turn? Demetri just having a quick read of like, so how bad is this for me? And the answer is very when you have a two-card hand. Because if you've had to save a Raihan, right, if there's a way for Connor to find the easier retreat into the Malamar, attack, discard, put the Raihan to the bottom, I mean, this hand is beyond stuck then.
It really is. Does Connor have escape rope? Out of curiosity.
Let's have a quick check. I don't think I saw an escape rope in his
I don't
list.
think so either, but I was just curious.
No, there's not.
No. So at least Demetris doesn't need to worry about escape rope, because that would be horrendous right now.
It would, but I just don't want to see this like the active V-Star get knocked out, because then you're really stuck.
Yep.
Would you see the boss? I like the pickup for boss, because the pickup for boss basically said, even if you manage to retreat this, I will find a way of KOing it.
Yeah, I will drag that Pokemon forward, kicking and screaming.
And now we're basically into Raihan territory time.
Yep. At least they'll be able to get an attacking V-Star this turn and
take a
knockout.
KO.
They're going to get a knockout here. So the bounce back is possible.
Yeah.
But ideally, they want to get rid of the Jolteon. There's just too much to do here, I think.
Well, I think at this point, it's already too late to care about the Jolteon. I think you have to just accept that that's stuck. They're not playing any outs outside of bossing it.
Yeah.
And I think at this point, bossing it's too slow.
Way too slow. And there are two setup Malamars. Well, one VMAX and one V, but for argument's sake, two scary attackers on the bench.
Well, something actually worth pointing out, though, is that the Malamar V is actually within one-shot range of a Beedrill.
That's very true.
With the second attack. Like, it does do just enough with the grass weakness to be able to knock it out. So there is still technically 6 prizes available, like in one-shot kind of range for Demetris. but does have to take this 2 prizes now and really get something else on the board.
Yeah, Malamar in its current state, the VMAX can't KO an Arceus V on its own, which is nice. So at least there's that. It's not running away with it. It doesn't do 240 damage or anything, so it does 180. So with 0 modifiers, as it currently stands, it's not KOing.
Okay, so does now at least get something down, gets the second attacker down, so in comes RCSV, and can at least charge that as well, right? So we take the KO, we get to charge it, and sort of have options available.
Yeah, the prize cards weren't awful.
The only, well, actually, they kind of, no, they're not so bad. They're not so bad.
Maybe preferred the Arceus V-Star, but
Yeah.
the energy's nice, and the quick ball's not awful.
I mean, the only issue is that isn't this in range of choice? No, it's 10 more, right? But we do know that Connor's playing a copy of Zigzagoon. So in theory, choice band Zigzagoon hit deals with all of the energy on board.
It does. And Max Jammer's not great anyway because it removes a card from Demetris' hand of Connor's choice.
Yeah. So even if you can't get the whole combo for the KO, you just go, right, cool, which of these matters right now?
Yeah.
And it's the choice band. All right, like, you don't really care about the quick ball. What are they searching for?
No.
Nothing of importance.
Nothing that can do much, no.
So this does kind of say, okay, cool, you're definitely a 2-hit, and it's just like, it doesn't even feel like a good 2-hit, as it were, right? Like, it doesn't feel great.
No.
As we just see, yep, just attack in, 130 damage, because this is not yet a V-Star. And just Max Jammer takes the KO.
And they're taking the Sobble, so there's no more basics to put on the field unless they quick ball away the top deck or their ordinary rod.
And now has taken the choice band from the prizes, which means that the possible 1-hit KO with Zigzagoon ping plus that.
So they're trying to prevent Demetris from being able to play anything else. And Demetris has used the ordinary rod, so we're going to get some energy back. And our Arceus to hope.
Yep.
To bring this back. I don't know what their other top deck was. They can quick ball it away to get another Arceus in play. I'm hoping it's a supporter.
If it doesn't matter, right? There's 2 prizes left for Connor. If Connor is able to go.
Oh, it wasn't
okay. Okay, the money's actually pretty big because
There's
that puts the band back into the deck.
Yeah, that's what I mean. A good supporter.
Connor's only playing 1 band as well, which now means we know that's at the bottom.
Perfect. So then we know that we don't have to worry about that for a little while longer. Demetris isn't quite in as much danger as we thought, and they can get more basics down. They're still not in a good position, but it's a better position.
No, I think saying they're not in a good position is probably an understatement.
Yep, it's an assessment.
And this is also one of those situations where, if you know you're in a particularly bad spot like this, the idea of maybe going, all right, thank you, next. It comes into play for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because if you have that as an option, I mean, you can save some time. But don't forget that if this RCS is able to take the KO now, which it is, that's 3 prize cards.
It is. It is.
And that puts Demetris at 1 prize card remaining, and things like Jolteon and Bibarel just chilling. So he's only really a boss away from winning this.
He is. So I think he's done really quite well at clawing this back. There's still potential for, as far as Connor knows, still potential for a B, which is threatening. So Connor's probably still apprehensive about putting any special energy on anything. I don't think it's over yet.
No, like we were talking about this as like Demetris has had nothing to do all game.
Speaking of, there's a capture energy.
He has just kind of taken 5 prize cards kind of casually.
Oh, very much so. I'm at a very increasing pace. And that's why VMAXs are really scary in an Arceus deck, because it does matter in the prize trade.
Yeah, so...
Absolutely. And, you
can just drag off,
there's a
but
boss in hand.
Yeah, it just has to go for the Confuse, right? And I think it's decent damage on the Confuse too.
Yeah.
Yeah, 130 and Confuse, so...
Is he going to go for the coin flip for the game?
I mean... I mean,
it's
can you
not-
switch plus retreat?
They can retreat. I don't think they have an actual switch option in hand. I think. Oh,
No, they do. Do they have the damage mod?
They don't
Oh, no,
need
they
it.
don't need it now.
They
And
don't need it.
there it is.
There it is. There's game. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so the prize
Wow.
cards, getting the scoop up net from the prize card was the missing piece to pull off that win.
That was the missing link, and it looked so much like Connor's game for a
Yeah.
while there. Fantastic to see Demetris bring it back.
Well, and this is it, like finding a way. When your deck doesn't cooperate, you don't get to 5-1-1 without finding a way a few times, right? Your deck
Absolutely.
can't run perfectly and cleanly
Every
every single game.
No.
And having the flexibility in the kind of, okay, how can I still piece this together? Those are important. Like the ability to piece these things together.
I think it's a real testament to never giving up.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also like, it's hard. Like, we talked about being under pressure, right? Especially having the slight mistake at the beginning of the game
I'd be
with putting the
shaking.
prizes,
Yeah.
right? The ability to just go pull it back, as you see Demetris is just kind of like, I'm okay. Like I pulled that off. Like
Yeah.
how did I do that? So I think we're going to get a short players interview with them.
Fantastic, because that was a great game.
Yeah. So really cool game and really like tense. Like it looked like it was slipping away, and then Demetris was able to go, wait, no, it's all good. It's all good. So it looks like we're just moving the camera around now. So as we're getting ready for the interview, that's one person at least locked for day 2, right? 16 points, goes to 19 points, locked for day 2.
Absolutely.
And that's a bees roll into day 2. Let's
That's what we
talk
like
for a
to
moment about what we think else might be popping up. What do we think has done well today?
Surprisingly, I think Mew has done well. I think we can definitely safe to say that although it was seeming to lack in popularity, it has still come in today and done very well. I will be of no disillusion. There will be plenty of Mew tomorrow.
No, exactly. And I think that's almost a surprise. Everyone knew Mew was a good deck, but I think a lot of people, especially in the last week or so, have just kind of forgotten it's a good deck.
Yeah.
And now everyone's gone, wait, this is pretty good. And when people forget about it, people take out their techs, people aren't as prepared, and then suddenly you can get some free wins.
And then suddenly we can see a Decidueye do smashingly because enough people have forgotten about Mew. The Decidueye can creep back in.
Yeah. So it looks like the interview is ready. So let's go find out what Demetris thinks of that game.
Thank you, casters. Yeah, so I am here with Demetris Eaton, our feature match winner. Congratulations.
Thank you,
So you were just telling me this is actually the first time you've been on stream at regionals, right?
Yes, that's right.
So how are you feeling going into it? Because we saw in that last game 2 there, in game 2 you kind of started off quite slowly, but you were able to bring it back and just sort of squeak out the win right at the end. So what was going through your mind?
I did not expect to win that game at all. I thought I'm just going to go to game 3 as soon as things get bad, but then I think I top decked to capture energy, which kept me in the game just because I could get another basic, and then I was hitting for 130. And then I got a Marnie top deck, which saved me a bit. So pretty lucky, I would say. But, you know, it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be a tricky tightrope to walk, right? Because sometimes you that skill is knowing when to scoop super early so that you know you have time for the rest of the games. But if you have just enough to maybe carry on, you can see it through. And, well, obviously it paid off for you here.
Yes. Yes.
So with that in mind, this matchup is one that it's probably quite common in the metagame right now. Of course, you see these different Arceus variants go toe to toe. How do you feel about approaching the various Arceus variants in general?
So this Jolteon variant that's just come out from last week, I was super worried about it. I was just hoping not to face any, and I faced 3 in a row so far. Luckily, I've beaten them. A lot of times they have to Starbirth to get. They can't get everything off the Starbirth, only 2 stuff, so that might be the Jolteon capsule, but then they couldn't get the path, or they'd have to get DTE, and then they couldn't get whatever. So there is a little bit of wiggle room. Sometimes I can get a Starbirth off, and then usually I try and boss KO the Jolteon so I can get my Inteleons back. But overall, it's pretty tough, and I'd say I've gotten pretty lucky today.
Yeah, that's very fair. And it is true, right? Although Starbirth is insanely strong, because you're running more moving parts that can sort of fall apart in a given moment, you're even more reliant on Starbirth to the point where some of those things don't come together as you might hope. So with that win, I do believe you're now locked in for day 2 at this point, right? So you can, in theory, ID next round or go for the other win. What are you thinking right now? Because I know that some players have different approaches when it comes to that kind of day 2 mindset.
Well, I'm going for a day 2 invite, and to achieve that, I want a top finish. So I'm going to play my next game, try and win it, rather than just take the safe option and ID.
Okay, so yeah, that way you got a better win record going into day 2, and you're more likely to make that top cut. That makes a lot of sense. So one last question before we throw it to a break: is there anyone you particularly like to shout out before we hand over?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out all my friends watching me. I've just received loads of message. I would like to shout out Hot Choc PTCG. He's my best friend.
If you're watching.
And I want to shout out my mum, who has come here with me, and she's looking after me. So.
That's mega sweet. Well, again, congratulations. Thank you so much, Demetris, for your time. And don't go anywhere, folks, because we have one more round of Swiss action left, and it's going to be another nail-biter, I'm sure.
Hi there, my name's Amy and I'm with Jack. Jack Old, how are you doing today?
I'm currently 2-1 playing Arceus Malamar VMAX, so something a little bit different. I've been playing Mew for the majority of the season, so trying something a bit different today.
Are you enjoying the change so far?
Yeah, I think so. It's like a completely different deck. There's a lot less decisions than Mew. It's really about what you can do in the first couple of turns compared to having to think all the way through the game, which is a nice break because 9 rounds of Mew is a bit of a headache. But yeah, just sort of being a bit more relaxed today and just trying to find, the first couple of turns, get through those and make it.
Are you finding that's letting you relax and have a little bit more fun today?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's still, there's only a couple of tournaments left and I'm still kind of in top 44 race, so I'm still a little bit stressed, but as long as we can keep playing the game, as long as I get to play the game today, I'm pretty happy.
We're pretty happy, that's awesome. Are there any scary cards out there that you think, oh no, if I get paired against that, it's not going to be a good day for me?
So there's nothing super crazy specific for the matchup, but pretty much every Arceus mirror feels very dependent on who goes first. So I want to avoid Arceus's a little bit. I just want to be hitting Inteleon decks. Also, Mew in general is very, very shaky, so there's nothing card-wise, but there's a couple of matchups that I really want to avoid.
And some coin flips that we have to be scared of then?
Yes, there's some coin flips. The opening coin flip is pretty crucial, whether you can go first or second is as big as it always is in Arceus, but also even the things like the catches in Mews now can be a bit scary, even if you get to go first.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit scary, but trying to jam my way to victory today.
That's what we're trying for. That's awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much for giving us a bit of your time today.
No problem.
I appreciate it. Okay, and it's time for the next round by the looks of things.
Thanks for chatting to me. I'm going to go and find who I'm against. Cheers.
No worries.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the final round of Swiss for day 1 at the Pokemon TCG Bremen Regional Championships 2022. I'm Freya Pierce. I'm here with Connor, and yeah, this is it. The nail biter, the winning in rounds, the last chance for players to make it into day 2.
It's not.
It's not.
No, it's not.
What do you
Well,
mean?
Stefan's got 19 points. Tim Bartels needs to win.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
So this is a win and out. This is a lose and out potentially, and
For-
for Stefan, he doesn't really care.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it makes sense that, so yeah, obviously, as you sure you heard now, we are bringing Stefan back for another Swiss round, given that I guess we kind of miscalculated. We thought he was on the winning in, but
Yeah.
ended up not. But this is a winning in for Tim Bartels, and yeah, and Tim's list is very spicy as well.
It is. It's not something that we've featured on stream so far, which is excellent. We've featured a lot of the format, but it is one of those ones that if you're expecting a lot of RCS, you want to be bringing this kind of deck, and it's the Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX.
Yes, so Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX, a card that saw a lot of competitive play around about the time when it first came out. Kind of fell off the radar a little bit, but now it's come back because, of course, with being able to do 250 damage with 2 energy plus a choice belt 280, that's a perfect match to knock out a Arceus V-Star in one hit.
Yeah, well, like when it was first released, it was kind of a Calyrex format. We had both the Shadow Rider and the Ice Rider, but it dropped off. Mew kind of scares it away, right? You can't afford to play the Mew, play this matchup into Mew, because Mew just kind of feasts on you as we get straight into the action.
Yes.
We do see Tim Bartels has a really slightly awkward start here, because he has double path of the peak in the prize cards.
Oh, yes. And also what looks to be a 2 water energy, a scoop of that, and a Sobble. As you see there, yeah. So Stefan being on 6 wins and 1 tie, yeah, can kind of sort of relax a little bit, even if he loses, it's not the end of the world. But Stefan's the kind of player who likes to play it out, even if he's guaranteed. So that's the reason why we're seeing this there. He decided not to go for the ID, thinking if I'm in day 2 anyway, I may as well go for the extra win, and that way my day 2 record will be even better.
No, and I kind of love the thinking, right? It's like, there's like tiers to people making day 2, and like there's the people who just want to be safe, make day 2 because that's their goal.
Yeah.
Stefan's been there, done that.
Yeah,
He's won stuff. He's got other priorities. He wants to go win some more stuff.
Of course.
And to do that, you just got to keep on trucking as we get away with the capture energy straight away on that Sobble.
Yeah. So capture energy, a card that never fails to sort of impress in sort of what it can do, in the sense that it's, as long as it's been around, it's always been played in some shape or form. Just being able to get both an energy drop plus an extra basic out is such a great thing to be able to do on your first turn with an energy attachment.
Yeah, so does mean not having to get the early attachment down on the RCS V, which is slightly scary, and this matchup is slightly scary too. So not a lovely start for Stefan, but definitely not terrible as we just see the pass over. And I think that was just a gesturing of a cut for Tim.
Okay, so not quite the pass just yet. It's sometimes kind of hard to tell because like a wave of a point or a wave forward of the hand can mean multiple things, but it is just a pass in this instance. Now let's see what Tim can do here. Looks like got a pretty stacked hand to work with, plenty of search options, so we'll be able to set up quite nicely. As starting off with the quick ball does Tim, probably going to be discarding that right hand, maybe not very useful right now, but yeah, it's sort of not a card you want to see early on because it only works, of course, when one of your Pokemon has been knocked out. Yeah,
so can go grab the Luminion. Might want to be looking to kind of get some water energy in the discard. As you do have some nice energy acceleration in here with 3 copies of Melanie.
Yep.
There's also some cool other inclusions, the things like the one of Leon.
Ooh, okay.
So because then you can do things like the ping from an Inteleon plus Leon puts other things in range for you. So
yeah, at that point you can actually start looking at maybe getting the one shot on VMAX Pokemon, which of course is very, very good. But
yeah.
So Tim starting off going for the Luminion, of course, with the ability able to get any one support card from the deck and just go for that Professor's Research straight away. Following up with a level ball to grab another Sobble, and it looks to be a quick ball, just all the search cards in Tim's hand right now.
I mean, this is what you want, right? You get to filter, you kind of get to draw a ton of stuff, you get to set your board up just so.
Yeah. And also, a PAL pad to put the right hand back in as well. That's excellent. So still going to be able to like make use of that later on, even though it ended up getting discarded just now.
So does get basically a beautiful start. I think there's still a couple of cards left in hand before this empty-handed research basically rounds it out. But one of them is an escape rope, which you kind of don't hate here, because if you want to go into a keep calling, not that you can do anything with a keep calling right now, but like here you're just basically saying, cool, go ahead, have my Sobble. I don't really care.
Yeah, I think you'd rather have a Sobble active right now than a Ice Rider Calyrex, because of course if that gets hit an Arceus V-Star could have very well actually knocked out in one hit.
Yeah.
I don't know if Stefan has a means to get it powered up in one turn.
He does not.
No, okay. But
Oh, no,
Tim
he
is-
actually has the Melanie.
yeah, okay, that's a melee. So actually, yeah, this is very wise from Tim because it is not impossible for Stefan to get a one-turn Arceus V-Star here.
So we see the capacious bucket grabbing some water energies. Probably the single best energy search tool that item we've had in a long time.
Yeah, it's very since Professor's Letter, which let you grab 2
Yeah.
basics of any type. But the capacious bucket, of course, only working for water energy. And then after an energy drop from Tim onto the Ice Rider Calyrex V, just a pass back to Stefan. What can he do to respond here?
Yeah, does have Drizzle in hand, so we're going to get some dealings of the shady variety.
Yes, some very, very shady dealings. Although I think the problem for Stefan here might be there's a lot that he needs in one turn right now.
Yeah, I was looking at the hand going, okay, if you're going to shady dealings, what are we going for?
It's
Everything.
yeah.
I need a lot of things.
Yeah, that's a tricky part, and I actually don't think it's possible with the current hand configuration to go for that, crazy one-turn everything, unless. Okay, hold on. Maybe if you grab Evolution Incense and go for the Arceus V-Star, maybe then you can Star Birth into
sure.
the Wombo combo.
Sure, but it is asking for quite a lot.
It
It's
is.
going to be an Ultra Ball. Same net effect, basically. You just get to discard the cards, and you need to discard at least one water for the Melanie to be live. So I
Yeah.
like this.
Oh, this is clever, actually. I think this might get there because now you can Ultra Ball, grab the V-Star, Star Birth for a Melanie and a double turbo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there it is.
So we do get the acceleration down. There is the one downside of, I don't know where you're accelerating your energy to, because, I mean, it's
Yeah,
a
I guess,
result, but
I guess you hope you draw another basic off of the Melanie, but essentially.
does seem to be a pretty nice turn. It just goes to show just how good all this search is. You can
Yeah.
almost always find a correct sequence to get to
Yeah.
exactly what you want.
And here's the scary thing, right? Is that if Tim had left the Ice Rider Calyrex being active, Stefan would actually have a KO on it because they've just got the choice belt rather, just in hand ready to go.
Yeah.
So
Melanie
there's-
also drawing a few extra cards. So
Ooh, no ways to get a basic. It looks like just
yeah, that would have been the ideal turn, but pretty close. Like getting the KO here is pretty nice. But also Tim doesn't need too much to be able to just respond KO and basically put himself pretty far ahead. So let's see what happens here.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing because, and like we were just saying in the beginning, this is exactly what the Ice Rider deck can prey on. So, yeah, Pass at the Peak doesn't really
Do
that
anything.
much. No, I guess it stops another Lumineon if Tim plays more than one, but I believe there's only the one in the list, so I don't think that matters too much. Yeah. Oof. So Stefan is, I think, kind of aware of how precarious a position that he's in right now because, yeah, he's going for this KO with the Trinity Nova, but he's not happy about it because Tim just needs energy, choice belt evolution. That's it.
Yep.
Or even the Leon would do the trick.
So let's see. It is going to be the Ice Rider with the energy on.
Evolution, attach,
Uh-huh.
then there's a choice belt. If not, yeah, Leon, that'll do it.
Uh-huh. That
That-
feels pretty mean.
It's all that's needed, and all of a sudden, look at that. Tim takes 2 prizes, and Stefan just left with a Drizzile.
Yeah, he's just like, well, I had a board. I no longer have a board, as
Yeah.
we see big shady dealings, but it's going to be an uphill struggle now for Stefan, even off this big shady dealings, to basically have to set up another bench. But the cool thing for Tim is that he doesn't actually have to rush setting up this next Max Lance, right? Like
No.
he's able to kind of attach, get a boss in there somewhere. Like he can attach Melanie, like he can Melanie to try and draw things, and then just because it's not as if Stefan's going to be able to one-hit knock out this Ice Rider Calyrex
No,
anytime
of
soon.
course not. So yeah, I think there's definitely. I mean, there's definitely. It's not as if Stefan is like completely out of this, and it's also not as if Tim can't can't afford to. If he falls behind in tempo here, it's really not the end of the world, right? He's taken such a vital KO at this point that he has the time to build things back up again for the next one.
Yeah, and that's always nice because like when you're trying to do these big KOs back to back, it often means you're not bossing because
Yes.
you have to use other resources, but you want to be able to boss, be able to pick off the things that you really want to hit.
It's essentially what you call like the one downside of a Melanie-based deck, right? Melanie being very powerful, being able to let you get extra water engines on the field whilst drawing more cards, but it's a supporter, so Melanie means no boss's orders, and that is always like the struggle you have, essentially.
So we do see the RCS V hit the board now for Stefan. He is playing the Alien Cross, I think is what some of the Australian players called this variant, because it has the cross switches in it. It's like Alien X or something like that, I think. Those Australian players come up with some weird deck names, man.
But it doesn't come up with very strong decks. I mean, Australia has some of the best players in the world. As we've
Yeah, I mean, like
literally our most recent world champion being.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that like they don't know what they're doing, but I am questioning their deck choice, their deck naming choices. As we see now, an extra RCS also hit the board. This big Inteleon's just kind of chilling out in the active, not really doing an awful lot.
Could we maybe see a Aqua Bullet come in?
So, Aqua Bullet is one of those amazingly underrated attacks, because 120 is actually a lot more than you think.
Yes.
And also, those little snipes can put so many things suddenly within range.
Yeah, that's no question about it. And Stefan decided not to go for it here. I guess just thinking I'd rather try and get my Arceus powered up with 3 basics so that I can do more damage with the Trinity Nova when it eventually becomes a V-Star. All the same, it's slightly precarious position here for Stefan, as Tim does go for that Melanie, draws 3 cards, and I imagine we'll just be going for. Now I was gonna say you could go for Rider to High King KO, but actually now that there's an Inteleon out, I think Rider to High King won't quite do enough.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, because Stefan only has 2 bench Pokemon out.
Yeah, I like this Drizzle cash in now to go grab the choice belt. This does tell me that Tim isn't fully aware of the fact that Stefan is playing the Tool Scrapper, but maybe Tim has a way of going into. I was going to say, is there an escape rope line he can make? But he's already used his 1 copy of escape rope.
Actually, no, I'm 99% sure I saw Stefan discard Tool Scrapper earlier.
Okay, in that case, it's fine.
Yeah, I could be wrong there, but I'm fairly sure I saw that. So that might be why Tim feels content to just playing this down straight away. Although it does mean in future games he'll think, oh, whoa, okay, maybe I need to be careful about when.
Yeah, you can't just burn the choice band for belt for whenever you want to, right? Like you have to be kind of careful.
It is so easy to get choice band and choice belt mixed up. It's both like choice B. Like I've done it myself.
They're both damage modifiers as well. So I'm just like my brain just goes, "Where's the choice belt?" I'm like, "Is it? Hang on, is it band or belt? I don't even know anymore."
Yes. So right, there goes Tim, the choice belt, and then Evolution Incense, grabbing what looks to be a Ice Rider, Calyrex VMAX, going to evolve that as well. Just get all the attackers set up and make sure that he has a good stream of attackers to go with. Sobble goes down as well, so that Drizzle isn't out to more things, and I'm liking the spread of energy attachments here.
Yeah. I also really love like the extra Sobble is just like it means that your Evo Incenses are like and your level balls are outs, because if you hit one of those, you can then boss to KO the Arceus with all the energy on, and oh look, you're back to like a really favorable position again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really great trick to have. Now, Stefan here has the Evolution Incense, so we'll be able to find the Arceus V-Star and start putting some damage pressure on this Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX. But I think finding a big charm here is really important. It's Stefan does play it, doesn't he? I believe it's 1 copy.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's going to be absolutely vital, especially considering Tim has already played the Leon, so a big charm means essentially no one-shot.
Yeah, and if you can do something like, if you can big charm here, plus then get the Sharon's Care next turn, that is a huge 1-2 of you can hit twice into their basically not having hit at all.
Yes.
Especially if they have to discard energies along that process, right? Like if they've discarded 2 energies, they might have to burn another Melanie to set things back up.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, that is absolutely how Stefan comes back into this game, and I'm sure he recognizes that line as well, and is just making sure that he executes that line to the best of his ability so that it can carry it out that way.
So, will depend somewhat on what Stefan's actually able to do, because I think it sounds somewhat awkward still. Double checking the count for Tim. So, not sure there's that much going on in there right now. There's a manual attachment, but I don't think I see a way to retreat this Inteleon.
Also, is this kind of discussion going on? It looks like.
Yeah, it looks like some form of discussion at the table. Just double checking everything. Obviously, these are the rounds where you really want to make sure you're paying attention. It's really hard after like 9 rounds to like end up miscounting something, and that ends up being the thing that decides if you progress into day 2 or not.
Yeah. So, okay, no, it looks like it's fine. So I guess they were just like thinking about something. maybe just having discussion over. So there's water energy being attached to the active, it looks like, onto the Inteleon.
Yep.
And yeah, it can be hard to tell with body language sometimes what's going on, because it looked like they might be looking to adjust something, but no. Stefan attached to the active, and there it is, the Aqua Bullet doing 120 to the active, and then 20 to that Luminion.
Yeah, softens it up, and I also kind of like this line of not committing to the V-Star, because you play a thinner count of the V-Stars, right?
Yes.
It does mean, though, like, other options become available for Tim for KO. Like, by keeping the bench so small, the path of the High King isn't any good. You still have to max lance here, but you are taking a bit of energy off the board in doing so.
Yes, you are, and that's going to be another KO from Tim, and only 2 prizes away from winning this game. But if Stefan can then next turn find V-Star plus Big Charm, then he can really try and mount that defensive pressure that's going to be too hard to overcome.
But here we see Boss. The extra choice belt is in hand now.
Yeah, so got that ready to go. Doesn't need to worry about.
And there's only one attachment as well. Actually, Tim's also got the tool scrapper, so even if he did have the charm, it actually wouldn't have mattered.
Oh, Tim's playing tool scrapper. Right? Yes, of course. So wow, yeah, Tim is actually in a commanding position in that case.
Yeah,
good.
Basically, a boss away from just wrapping this game up, and has, I think, it's Big Shady in hand. So, Big Shady dealings Inteleon, getting 2 cards. Boss is the only one that is needed.
Wow.
So,
and I think Stefan maybe even like recognizing this, just continuing to commit to attacking with this Inteleon in the active, just with the Aqua Bullet. But there's a Professor's Research. There's no hand disruption. So I think as long as Tim has a way to get an attacker into the active, we're going to be going on to game 2.
I mean, basically water energy plus boss is all we need to be able to wrap this game up.
Well, assuming Stefan doesn't KO the active, he'd need a way to retreat as well. That would be the other thing.
True.
But yeah, Stefan obviously having played for longer and having experience to recognize that this is the current state that the game is in, and to try and play it out as best as possible, just recognizing, I need to keep attacking with this Inteleon if I want to have a shot at winning here. It's a very precarious position to be in. I don't envy him at all, but he's doing the best he can to secure his future. And double turbo going on to the Arceus V-Star as well, and probably going to see another Aqua Bullet.
Yep. The Aqua Bullet here, again, I love the Aqua Bullet here because it forces, like, this Inteleon is really annoying for Tim to deal with.
It is, yeah.
Committing the resources to discard the energy kind of sucks.
Yeah, just a little bit. And it's also because exactly the Aqua Bullet doesn't get the KO on the active Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX, it does now force Tim to have that out to retreat, as well as the Water Engine and the boss's orders to win the game. I guess the question just becomes, does Tim have it? So there goes a level ball. Will be for a Drizzle, I'm sure. I want to see something about Tim's list. Is he playing some way to, like, what's he playing to retreat, if anything? Is he playing an air balloon or anything like that? There's escape rope,
which we saw early, right? I think.
I do believe so, yeah. So I don't see it in the deck at least. Yeah, I think it got discarded earlier. So actually, I don't think there's a way for Tim to retreat here. I don't think he's not going to be able to seal the game this turn.
Okay, so
I guess maybe the move here is to just Melanie again attach and KO the Inteleon, because it stops scoop up net plays at the very least, and Stefan has no way of taking a multi-prize turn next turn if you get rid of the Inteleon. So yeah, I think that's exactly what Tim's going to do. Melanie into the active, attaching water energy, and that was and I think it's going to be just another attachment and a KO in the Inteleon. After it looks like a quick ball's being grabbed here. Yeah, discarding another Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX and grabbing another Ice Rider Calyrex V.
Yeah, this Inteleon's put in some work.
It is. I don't think it's going to be enough, unfortunately, but it kind of goes to show just how strong Aqua Bullet can be, like you were saying earlier.
And it's also like, it gets you 2 cards, it actually has a really good attack, Inteleon's pretty cool. What's not to like about this card?
Yeah, it's almost like this card is insane and in basically a large percentage of the meta game.
Yeah. As we just go, right, I think Tim's gone, you know what? I've had enough. Get out. Get out of here, Inteleon. I'm
had
sick of
enough.
seeing you. I've
Yes.
seen you all day. Just go away.
Yeah.
As we see a big Max Lance. I mean, also there's another one basically ready to go on the bench. So at this point, he's like, I don't care if I have to go to one prize card left.
Yes. I don't see a way for Stefan to come back here because water energy gets the win. Water plus, say, well, it carries the active, but also Tim only needs one more prize. So say if there was some like kind of fringe way to kill a Sobble, that would work too. There's just too much for Stefan to overcome at this point.
So looks like we're just going to get into, Rod here. Can't take two. Yeah, I was going to say two of each. You can't take 3 and 1. That's not how it works. But the Scrapper is in the discard already. So.
Yeah. We do see in the chat someone's asking, does Stefan play Scrapper? Yes, Stefan does play one copy of Tool Scrapper. He's actually one of the few top players to play it. We were actually talking about this earlier, which of course makes sense. You want to shut off that memory capture on the Jolteon.
He saw Jolteon firsthand last week and went, none of that. None of that funny business.
Yes, none of that, please. Level Warm in the meantime after that Ordinary Rod to be able to get a Drizzile back and try to do something, but I don't know what you can do at this point because that's Tim has the Scrapper ready in hand, so I guess you just have to like find the big charm and pray, but the prayers aren't going to help much right now. You go for the Marnie. There, that's absolutely what you do. You reduce Tim's outs to the win.
Exactly. You just go, okay, make them miss.
Yes.
Again, the thing is here is that if Tim does miss for a turn, that is all really Stefan needs to get back into this game.
Yeah, at that point, because
the Luminion's just going to be enough to steal it.
Yeah, and that's of course why that Luminion's been the one that's being softened up here, because that's going to be the easy pick-off target for later if Stefan's able to survive this one more turn. So very crucial Marnie here. Oh, Stefan finds the big charm. That's huge. And an energy as well.
Okay, so we see the knockout. And it's sort of protected. Tim needs to get back into the Tool Scrapper, which I think we just got Marnied back,
It did
right?
just get Marnie back, yeah. So
it's on the bottom of the deck.
So Tim needs to basically find Big Shady here, or just somehow draw into the Tool Scrapper again, which, I don't know if you can actually do. Let's
and KO. No. I mean, here I think you just go ahead and grab the energy, just more for retreat outs, right?
Yeah, there's no reason not to.
Also, like this, this also I like of like it's fine to just attach them active.
Yes. So here we go. Yep, no reason not to put that in the active. Here comes the big bad Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX. Does Tim have the outs to win? There's a boss's orders. Wait.
He has, but he's
got Big Shady. Yeah, so there's a Tool Scrapper and then Melanie. That will do it. So attaching the extra energy, Tool Scrapper takes the knockout, and Tim Bartels takes game 1.
And this is such a cool game. Like, we know this is technically an unfavored matchup for the RCS player, but it was damn close.
It was damn close. And once again, Stefan showing why he's one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, and just getting that as tight as it was, I was like, okay, I mean, pretty good, but yeah, we got there with the Big Shady. And the Big Shady dealings in Teleon does a ton of work for both players in this game.
Yes.
Finding the outs to win for Tim, but also Stefan just kind of went, okay, you got this. Like, I'm going to trust you to do the damage for me for a few turns and set things up so that we have a chance to get back in.
Yeah, absolutely. So Stefan knows what he needs to do if he wants to, try and pull off a win against a very unfavorable matchup. But Tim as well, piloting his deck to the maximum of his skill level as well, and taking a very, I think very convincing would be harsh. Obviously, Stefan did a good fight back, but Tim was able to find the outs he needed to win that game.
But like, there's an interesting thing here. Tim decided that he drew the boss. He only needed boss energy to win, right?
Yes.
So he actually could have opted to boss attach and take the single prize. That would have also recalled game because he only had one prize card left, right?
Yep.
He actually showed the Scrapper, which Stefan hadn't seen yet, to get rid of the big charm and do it that way. So he effectively took one more prize card, but that doesn't matter. He basically gave Stefan the information about Scrapper.
Yeah. You see, the thing is, I actually don't know if I saw an energy in Tim's hand. I think that's the reason why he did that, because otherwise...
He could have, I guess he still had the Melanie, right? Like,
yeah.
he had buckets. He still has buckets left.
Did he have buckets left?
I think he would have at least one bucket left. So
yeah. In that case, yeah, there was a potential to do the play in a way where you give away slightly less information, but it's...
But no, because I'm actually thinking about this. I like giving the information.
Oh, you like giving the information?
Yeah,
okay.
to go, cool, you play that big charm.
Oh, right, I see.
You know I have the out. I kind of like that. Like, it's a subtle thing. I can see, okay, maybe not all the time, but like there's an argument here to go, it's fine giving this info because I don't think you're going to be able to play around it in a way that really matters.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it comes down to it might force Stefan to like hold it a little bit. Oh my goodness, those prizes!
That's 3 Drizzle.
That's his free Drizzle prize. Please tell me he plays 4.
He might. Hang on. That's Stefan's list. Bad news.
Uh-oh! that's not good.
These Drizzles are not going to be any good. There are 3 on the list. Well, there were 3 on the list. There's now 3 in the prize cards instead.
I think Tim's going to be noticing that and thinking, oh dearie me. That's not good news. Oh boy, and yeah, he must be looking now and seeing that might be a problem.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Okay, right, hypothetical. Thank you, next. Like, this is where I'm like, I mean, I could still win this without them, but also, do I want to?
Well, okay, here's the thing. Like, Tim's hand still seems pretty... I was going to say pretty decent, but no, he had to grab himself a Marnie off of that. Stefan's turn 1 was not that... It was fine, but not amazing. He missed the energy drop, but just managed to get 2 sobbles down. Depending on what Tim gets off this Marnie, we could see what a big difference made. No basics!
Okay. Welcome to Whiff City. We're going to see you keep calling.
No, but this is horrendous now because at least he was able to find an Ice Rider Calorie XV, then he could just attach to that and start get something ready. But surely Tim must have noticed that all his Drizzles are prized. Maybe he didn't. Maybe just in the heat at the moment he's just thinking, oh yeah, I'll just grab some sobbles, right? Easy peasy.
Yeah. I mean, so one of the things here is actually you're kind of fine with this still if you're Tim because Tim just needs a draw. So you don't really care about the Drizzles being prized and like the fact that this game is going to be clunky and slow. You're 1 up.
Right,
with 25 minutes left.
Yeah, that is true, actually. Yeah.
Like, the clock is kind of on your side now. Like, you're either winning this 2-0, if you pull this back, or you're just going to end up with a tie anyway.
Yeah, and the tie will get Tim into day 2. So, yeah, it makes sense that he's less worried in that regard.
Which is why Stefan wanted to play. Stefan was the one who wanted to play it out. This knocks an Ice Rider out of day 2 for Stefan.
That's actually, that's...
Right,
that's,
if he wins.
That's a very... I hadn't even thought about it like that, but that's a very good point. We do see there the Avery from Stefan and Tim, like, not even wasting a millisecond in just sending that Luminion straight to the discard pile from the bench.
Yep.
Makes complete sense, of course. And now it's literally just a field of 4 sobbles on Tim's side. But really, Tim needs to get down an Ice Rider Calorie XV as soon as possible. And, of course, the big problem is he can't use Shady Dealings to help him get there.
Yeah, that's so what Stefan doesn't know, but Tim definitely does, is that's a whole board and nothing.
Yes, essentially.
Like, there may as well not be anything, and Stefan's just going to go, KO, KO. Why aren't you evolving any of these?
Well, you could attach and use the second attack, and maybe do 40 damage if you flip 2 heads. I think you lose if you do that.
I'm convinced. I'm in. So we see the Drizzle. Tim's like, he probably has like sad tiny violin music of like when he sees their Drizzles of like, oh, I want my own.
Can I borrow one, please?
As Drizzle comes down, grabs an Evo Incense, so we can go and grab the RCS with the water energy in the discard pile already.
Oh,
this means Melanie is live, so we can get the 1 turn power up for this RCS and start taking the prize cards.
Makes a lot of sense to me, and. It's going to be, and unlike last time, Stefan actually has something to attach to, so that makes it even better. And Stefan kind of, I think he's kind of telegraphs his whole turn in advance.
Yeah.
Oh no! Okay.
Oh no, just pause it up. Okay.
Yeah. So just going to go for the Trinity charge. It looks like. So yeah, free basic energies from the Trinity charge onto the bench RCS V.
That's it. I might have to ask Stefan about that turn at some point because like I think he had the outs because he had the Evo Incense.
No, maybe.
But he has no Melanie. Okay,
yeah.
He has no Melanie. But like he could have. Oh no, the Path of Peaks to play.
Oh yeah, that's why. So he had no out to Path of the Peak. That's why. So it all makes sense now. And here we go. If Tim hasn't noticed it before, he will surely notice now. And there it is. There it is. Yeah. I guess it can be easy to miss on the first 2 deck searches because you play so many of them and you think, oh yeah, surely they're all in there, right? But
and then he's Evo Incensed and gone. You what? And now the thing is, okay, so as soon as you play, you needed this to be on the first search because the very fact that you've taken this Inteleon now Stefan knows.
Yeah, there's no, this is highly telegraphed. Stefan is looking at this thinking, right, I see what's happened here, and I'm very okay with this.
Okay, like Tim didn't hide the look at the thing, and I'm probably even telling him that they're all prize, but like, it doesn't feel good to then have to be like, oh no.
Yeah, it's slightly like tail between the legs moment, as it were.
Yeah.
And as you do see Tim going for another Marnie, and just needs to see an out to a
Something?
basic this turn. Yeah, just on any Ice Rider, any out to an Ice Rider Calyrex V will do.
How about no?
No. Okay, maybe
How
not.
about literally not a single play? Well, okay, that's not true. Bucket's playable. Is it good? No. But there's at least one playable card in that hand.
Basically, but here's the thing, right? Under any other circumstance, that hand would be busted because you just level ball for Drizzile and you're good to go. Not this time, my friends.
Yeah, honestly, surprisingly, the Drizzle makes a surprisingly large amount of this deck completely dead for Tim.
Yeah,
I mean,
can't help but feel sorry for him, really.
We can Zigzagoon, I suppose. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's what he grabbed, and Capacious Bucket. So it is true what you're saying in the sense that Tim doesn't mind a tie at this point, so that's why he's probably like playing it out. But could there be, given that the matchup is favorable and like a win would be great, is there an argument to just kind of accept loss, concede, and move to game 3 so you can actually finish it? Still?
Well, this is the thing. He only needs a tie. So no, you basically make as many actions as you can every turn to not bleed the clock down, but like effectively you're going, look, take these prize cards, make me lose. Because then it's 1-1 with 10, 15 minutes left on the clock. I'm favored in this matchup, so either it's finishing 2-1 or a tie.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense, because if it was an unfavorable matchup, then you would consider conceding. But because it's favorable and you don't care if you tie or win, it kind of makes sense to play to the odds that gives you the most chances of a tie or a win happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes complete sense. I think obviously Stefan would like to take a win here because, like you said, that would knock out another Ice Rider from day 1, and that would make his day 2 easier, and it would also put him on a better day 2 record, so that he's more likely to make top 8. But I mean, to be fair, the way this is going, you might see the game end very quickly anyway. There's this deck just doesn't. If you have all your Drizzile's prize, there's so much of your deck that actually just doesn't do anything.
Level Ball's pretty bad. Evo Instance is pretty bad. Inteleons are pretty bad. That's a lot of pretty bad cards.
There we go.
Okay, right, we have a card that's playable.
Yeah, that was extremely important. Then Melanie as well. Absolute gravy there, and going to be able to draw 3 cards too. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. This game is not completely over.
Yeah.
It's just still sort of difficult.
Yeah. But this is exactly what Tim needed. Now he's gotten out to not just 1, but 2 Ice Rider Calyrex Vs, and now the evolution incentives are useful again because you can at least get the Ice Rider Calyrex Remax and start putting some kind of damage onto these things.
Yeah.
That rest of the hand isn't looking great, though, if I'm being honest.
No, so this is the issue. There's no out to the VMAX, which is the card that you need most right now, because if you can get the VMAX down, retreat, KO, and RCS, you're all like, it's all good. We're back in this. Especially because like, if you take prize cards with 3 in there when you're taking 2, you're pretty sure you're going to hit the Drizzile.
There's a good chance, yeah.
Especially the way they're laid out. Like, he's definitely taking a Drizzile, because he like...
Yeah, just by virtue of how it's laid out, yeah, you're right, because you're not going to, like, take 2 prizes in a way where it ends up being, like, the Ultra Ward.
Those people who do that on PCGO actually upset me. But, like, it doesn't seem very likely.
No.
So it is almost certainly going to be taking a Drizzle, which is excellent, because then it means the deck is sort of back up and running.
Yeah, so Melanie onto the Ice Rider, one of the Ice Rider Calyrex Vs on the bench, and then just a pass from Tim. I imagine Stefan would mightily like to get a KO on one of those.
If there is a way of doing something along those lines, such as, say, a boss choice band, or either a choice band on the active or like a switch boss sort of thing.
Belt,
exactly, belts. Like, there's all sorts of combinations that we can do here. And pulling them off would be pretty sweet.
Yeah. There is what looks to be, another Arceus V-Star coming down. Big Charm on the active, okay. Yeah, that makes it a little bit harder for Tim to find the means to KO this, although there is Leon in hand already. There's a Tool Scrapper as well.
And there is Belt in hand. So no KO on the bench Calyrex this turn, which is fine.
Yeah. I think given that Stefan didn't have the out to the boss's orders, it makes sense to just like not go for it and just be safe and just you make use of that Big Charm. You can always choice Belt the bench if you really want to.
Yeah. just go ahead, take the free KO on this Sobble.
Yeah.
All your attackers are ready to go for the rest of the game. You're also kind of going, well, you know Tim's got nothing. So
yeah.
you don't really feel bad about having to go through all the Sobbles. You're like, well, it's fine. Like, I clearly have more time than you thought I was going to.
Yeah,
so
of course.
yeah, it seems pretty good as we see the shady dealings in Teleon come down.
Yeah. Oh, there's a cross switcher though. Could we see double cross switcher choice belt KO onto the? This could be very spicy.
Oh, I think we're going to. Tim can see that, and he's like, I don't like what you've just done. Please don't do that.
And then Stefan's like, you don't like it, but it's going to happen.
As we see the double cross switch come down. Also, nice little thing there Stefan did. Actually, you could take, like, intuitively, you'd go, take both cross switch with the big Inteleon, but by actually scoop up netting it, you can then get to reuse that one next turn.
Yes.
You set your bench up to be better for Drizzles. Like, it's attention to detail in these things when you like try and close out these games.
Yeah, it's very, very smart. Heads up play again from Stefan, and we know that the choice belt's already in hand, so yeah, Stefan can just attach that. Oh, kind of, yeah, asking what I think might be asking what cross switcher does.
Yeah, it's going, but why? Why is it? Why does this exist?
And yeah, choice belt on the active, and that will be a Trinity Nova for the KO on the Ice Rider Calyrex with 1 energy. So now, yeah, Stefan takes 2 prizes, and Tim, with the way that the hand is, has no way to respond. Like, again, lovable, great card in any other circumstances, but not when you have 3 Drizzles in the prize cards.
Yeah, this is rough. Like, we've seen some rough games today. This is up there.
Yeah, it's when your entire deck doesn't operate on the basis of 3 of essentially the most vital card in your deck being prized. It's not a good place to be.
Yeah, and just passes it over. Does Stefan have the out for boss?
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
That was no time wasted there. Boss's orders, and then probably going to be, straight up Trinity Nova KO, and then...
I don't even know if you need to commit anything else right now.
No.
Like, you know that this hand is a complete brick for Tim.
Yeah. And, I mean, if I'm Stefan, surely I'm just taking the OKO more quickly because, you want to make sure that you can finish...
exactly, there's the time, right? Like, if you want them out of the tournament, you want to make sure that you finish game 3, but, like, realistically, you could also just have the tie. It's not the end of the world for Stefan. He obviously wants the extra 2 points if he can get them, but...
Yeah. And Tim... can't even justify doing anything here. Just
yeah, Tim's just like, yeah, go on.
Yeah, and he might show it here. Just say, all 3 Drizzles, they're in the prize. Unbelievable, just shaking his head. But it's fine. Like you were saying before, Tim knows that a tie here will get him through, and so as long as Stefan doesn't find a way to also win game 3, which could happen, Tim's feeling okay.
Well, exactly. Like, Tim knows he's favored, strictly speaking, so this is actually a really nice situation to be in.
Yes.
I am favored. There are 15 minutes left. If the game finishes in 15 minutes, chances are it is in Tim's favor.
Yes.
So he's not super stressed out right now. Stefan, on the other hand, is like, yeah, I don't really care either way.
Yeah. Makes sense.
This makes no difference to me whatsoever. So can just finish this game off and basically see where they end up for tomorrow. I don't imagine it's going to be quite as painful like game 3.
I wouldn't have thought
I really hope
either.
it's not going to be as painful because that hurt my soul.
Don't jinx it.
I'll find wood. I'm touching wood. There's the table. The table.
Yeah, the castle desk is wood. We are. It's.
I'm touching wood. I'm hoping it won't be as bad.
That's we'll have to see here. And oh yeah, gosh. It is extremely unlikely that it happens again, but it can, and that's a little bit frightening. It's I'm reminded of the the John Kettler free Rowlet prized. It's US Nationals.
Please no, the flashbacks.
Well, to be fair, even that wasn't as bad. At least you had 1 Rowlet left.
Yeah. Whereas that was just like, but what if you don't?
Yeah.
Which, especially when you've already played the card to go and search them, is real bad. So
yes.
Let's see if this is going to finish in game 3 getting a conclusion, or if we're going to end up finishing this off with a tie.
Yeah, only one way to find out, as I believe Tim is just about done shuffling, going to draw an opening hand, and they're having a stare down?
I mean, I like the drama of the stare down.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm all about it. I want more stare downs in my Pokemon TCG action. I think that would add some great hype, especially with this like layout what we have. If they can get them to real intense eye contact,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Yes.
Um,
No kidding. Wait, is something going on here? Like, yeah. Okay. So we have just received word that Stefan and Tim have decided to ID, but and this is a verbatim quote: they are playing out Game 3 for the honor and the stream.
I respect that.
Yeah.
A huge respect of going, I mean, it's probably a tie anyway. Let's just play for fun now.
Yes.
Which I also love when players do this after playing 9 rounds, right? It would be so tempting to be like, cool, I'm just go ahead and like ID and go dip and go get me some food. The fact that they're going, you know what, we're having a good time. Stream are having a good time.
Yeah.
Let's just finish this for some hype.
Yeah, it's you love to see it, and yeah, I guess now we will see how this Game 3 would have panned out. Would it have been a tie, or maybe are one or the both of them gonna potentially regret this decision?
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Like this is great. It shows just how much passion some of these players have. Like Stefan, if you talk to Stefan about Pokemon literally any time,
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, let's go. I want to talk about this.
Okay, there we go. We went from free Drizzard's prize to no Drizzard's prize. That's a lot better.
Very, very good. I know that's not true. Stefan Price won.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so we see quick ball. So there's no dunk for Stefan available now.
Nope. And I mean, to be fair, it's not impossible for a game between these two decks to finish in 10 minutes.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
It's not. It's.
I mean, if Ice Rider does what Ice Rider does, it goes KO, KO, KO.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pretty decent start as well. Well, any start was better than the one from the last game there. Quick ball for the Ice Rider Calyrex V, and then attaching energy. Headbutt Tantrum already? Okay, fair enough. Oh, just using Escape Rope to put it into the active and then just passing.
Yeah, real nice opening turn. Gets the little ping. Not that it ends up being relevant ever.
No,
but,
not really.
You know, it's still nice.
Stefan also firing off a quick ball of his own. And looking to get a Sobble from that, of course, having already got the Arceus V down. Important to get as many of those Sobbles down turn 1 as you can. Going to be looking for an energy drop, of course, on the Arceus V as well. Maybe even ideally starting off with a double turbo so you can go for a turn 1 Trinity charge. That's always super strong.
Yep, exactly. And it's nice to see the Sobble squad, even though I'm personally part of the Grookey gang. Getting all of the Sobble squad down is pretty fun.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And another quick ball is guarding a path to the peak, so going to be able to get down another Sobble, which of course will be great for Stefan. Now, yeah, things are going a little bit slowly at this point, so I'm not 100%.
Probably could have been ID.
Yeah.
I mean, they've ID'd. They already know it's a tie.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just going to go, look, see, it would have been a tie anyway.
So I'm slightly surprised in the sense that I know, having talked to Stefan many times, Stefan isn't really a big fan of IDing, generally speaking.
Nope.
Yeah, he usually tends to, as the whole reason he's even on this stream game at all, he likes to sort of play it out. But I guess maybe in this particular instance, recognizing that, yeah,
it's realistically going to happen, or I'm going to lose.
Yes. So
at which point you off the ID because it's like, well, at least I get a point.
Yeah. A tie is better than a loss, and if Tim can set up, then he is favored. So. I guess in this instance, it does kind of make sense that Stefan went that way. He has got an energy drop on the Arceus V on the bench as well, which is nice. And I think there is a Drizzle in hand.
Yeah,
for
just
next
pass
turn
it all over and just go, right, off we go. Okay, we see an Evo Incense.
Yeah, and wait
and
for it.
this time,
wait for it.
He's going to go.
There it is. I think he panics a little bit for a second. They're all clumped towards the top, so thinking, oh no, not again, please no.
Please no. But no, this time we do see shady dealings happen. This means that the outs have been found. The deck is going to do what it wants to do, at least in some capacity.
Yeah. Tim's hand is really not that great right now. I believe I saw a scoop up net and something else. So a scoop up net and a Melody. So it's going to be scoop up net on the Zigzagoon.
Yep.
Bring the Ice Rider into the
I love
active.
this.
Yep. And then
throw it down.
Yeah, why not? Put the Headbutt Tantrum damage on the other Arceus, and then just Professor's Research. All Tim needs is just to find another Water Energy and the Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX, and then it's good to go. There's one of the two. Oh, yeah.
I mean, off to the races this deck goes, and I think they even picked up the Shady Dealings in Teleon.
Yes, and a couple more Ice Rider Calyrex Vs as well. Fantastic. That's pretty much as ideal as it's going to get.
Yeah.
I don't know what Tim was doing there, just kind of ripping from the top of the deck. But
Yeah, it's like, believe in the heart of those cards as we just see Max Lance, KO, 2 prizes.
yes, solid. So Stefan going to be looking to mount a response of some kind. Of course, no passive he can play, so Star Buff is still an option for him. And I mean, there's the Ultra Ball in hand right there. So, and he's already got the double turbo as well. So yeah, we're going to be seeing a Star Buff this turn plus Trinity Nova without a doubt. Double turbo onto the active, and then after that an Ultra Ball, or maybe with the Shady Dealings Drizzle in the hand, could also just go for that to grab an Evo Incense instead. Not quite sure if there's some hands that some cards that he wants to thin out of the hand. Staring at his hand quite intensely to decide. Yeah, just looking over, giving it some thought. When you know that the game you're playing isn't, it's just like for the honor of the stream, as they put it. I guess you don't mind even taking like a little bit more time.
I mean, this is also like the thing where you can go ahead and just be like, I don't really care. I'm going to go for the highlight reel plays, right?
Yes.
Like those slim percentage plays that you're like, I mean, it'd be cool if it came off.
Yeah.
I mean, when you know there's no stress and like it's just for fun. So
it makes it a little bit more tempting to go for. So there it is. Yeah, Evo Incense grabbing the Arceus V-Star, and you don't actually even need to Star Buff this turn if you didn't want to. You have everything that you need kind of in hand already, and maybe Stefan even considering a boss's orders to bring up the bench Ice Rider Calyrex V?
Yeah, I mean, if you can hit into it, KO it, in the ideal scenario, sweet. But, I mean, you have to take you're going through a V max at some point. Like, you have no choice.
No, not really. And the other thing is, of course, Stefan could grab a path to the peak and put it down himself now that he's not worried about his Star Buff being unable to be used. But the only thing that really affects for Tim would be the Luminion V, which, granted, he's not used yet, so could be maybe annoying, but I'm sure most of the time Stefan realizes that putting the path to the peak down just doesn't really do much to hinder Tim.
No, this is true. Like, the path in this particular matchup is kind of irrelevant because,
yes,
I mean, Ice Rider Path was like the deck when Ice Rider first came out, so it's not surprising that it's stuck to a very similar kind of play.
No, absolutely not. So Stefan, I wasn't even able to see what cards.
No, I haven't seen them.
Star Buff, but clearly trying to think which few. Oh, it looks like another Arceus V and a Big Shady. It looks like. It makes sense. So, actually, going to boss up the Drizzle. Interestingly enough, just cut off that search engine. Monty, I like this. It makes sense. And yeah, just going to then go straight up for the Trinity Nova and load up this Arceus V that he just got off the Star Buff.
No, and I kind of, so this is clever because if you know you have to go through the VMAX, you're going to have to go 3 prizes at some point. So if you can take your 1 early to go 1, 3, 2, that's a much nicer and actually much easier prize mapping for RCS to reach because like you know at some point there might be a Luminion in play, or by that point you've accrued enough resources that you can KO a Ice Rider V without having to overcommit. So this is a really nice prize map to take.
Yeah. The only thing that would potentially put a hindrance to that is if Tim is able to get another Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX down and then not put down another 2 prizer.
Yes.
That would be the only thing that sort of stops that from taking full effect. But we do see the right hand there from Tim, so able to attach a Water Energy from the bench to the active Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX and then grab any 1 card that he wants from the deck.
Yep. And I mean, you get the attachment. Do you want to guarantee the second attachment? Like, I don't know what's in hand.
He grabbed the money, it looks like, so maybe
for next turn. So he must have to KO maybe this turn anyway.
Well, that'd be pretty strong if that's the case. It would just need a water from hand and then the choice belt, and then that would get there.
And the fact that they didn't take the choice belt tells us that Tim probably doesn't need it, and it's just going to be a pass. So, no, it's going. I don't care. I don't need to take it now. I'll just go 2. I'll do it next turn.
Yeah, fair enough, I suppose. Maybe. Okay, no, I've just seen what happens here. He didn't have a way to get both the extra energy he needed and the choice belt.
True.
He needed both, and he could only get one or the other, so that's why he went for the Marnie. So actually, Stefan KOing the Inteleon was, or rather carrying the Drizzle so that the Inteleon couldn't come out was a very clever move.
Yeah, taking out the parts of the engine as opposed to just the main attacker.
Yeah. And now what I think Stefan can do to guarantee that prize mapping is possible, maybe just bosses orders up the bench, Ice Rider, Calyrex V, and KO that.
Yep. I mean, you do have to put some damage into this Ice Rider active.
Yeah, you could do that as well.
Like, you do need to do that at some point, otherwise you just lose because, like, it's a 2-hit knockout. You can't 1-hit knockout it ever.
Yes.
So you have to sink some damage in at some point. I think we saw a big charm being taken there.
Yes, it was a big charm indeed.
So basically this might be the turn where you go commit the damage in. If you commit the damage in now, you're okay because you can basically say 2-hit knockout into 1-hit knockout and win it that way.
Yes. So we are very close to time here. I do believe the time was called for the rest of the round 9. So and what you can see on the timer there won't be long until time's called here as well. So yeah, it seems like a shame to end on what feels like a bit of an anticlimax considering how the rest of the day has been, but it's really it's cool still to have both these guys on stream, especially to see Stefan going from the very first round and seeing him back and actually able to make it into day 2 again.
Yeah, and especially after the win last week as well, continuing the hot streak, making day 2, and seeing Tim basically bringing a deck such a big, hard meta call. Because if you expect to see a ton of Mew, you can't bring this.
No, absolutely not.
But expecting a ton of RCS, which I think in Europe is a really safe idea, if you can do it and bring it, I mean, we're seeing it can pay off. Making these big calls over what you think is going to be popular, sometimes that's the way to go. Yeah,
and actually it's all paying off here. So the clock is ticking, and very soon it is a shame. I would have loved to see how this game would have played out all the way through because I think it definitely could have gone either way. But I don't think we're going to get the chance to do that, unfortunately, for us.
So we do see shady dealings for 2 this time, grabbing Ordinary Rod and Boss's orders. Going to need some Gust at some point to close this game out.
Yeah, and that now should be time, I believe, unless it's slightly different on the table.
I think so.
I think they might just be talking out a little bit and sort of kind of maybe talking through what would have happened. We see a water engine come down onto the RCS V, and so Stefan is going for the boss's orders this turn, has a choice belt in hand, and does take 2 more prizes, which means that it's just Stefan is just 1 VMAX KO away from winning the game.
Yep. So just goes ahead, grabs 3 prize cards. 2 prize cards seems pretty good.
It does indeed, and has another Ultra Ball to consider as well, but does just decide to go for the Trinity Nova. No. Yes, no, maybe.
Welcome to life as a caster. Well, you're never entirely sure what is actually about to happen. You can see what you can go with. Here's what would make sense, but you don't get to choose. So as we see the KO,
they're finding the Trinity Nova. So taking the knockout, 2 more prizes for Stefan, and just 3 prizes away from the win. And so with Tim to try and decide how best to respond. So
yeah, I'm actually not sure if we're actually playing this match out to completion.
Oh, maybe so. Yeah, maybe.
Like, why not? At this point, like maybe they're just gonna go. Yeah, we don't care about turns. We've already actually handed in our match slip.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, and again, much appreciated for everyone, all of us watching, both here at the caster desk and you guys at home as well. So you love to see it. Path of the Peak goes down, slightly irrelevant at this point. But, is what it is. Probably just get it out of the hand.
The thing is, it does make your Luminion dead.
It does. That's true. So hopefully that doesn't come back to bite him later. We do see there water energy.
Okay, well, I mean, you only needed the water energy. And I know you need water energy damage mod, right?
But there's lovable. So
sweet.
Drizzle's gonna come in and fetch that choice belt. There's definitely one left I saw earlier. Yep, and that will be the KO on the RCS V-Star. Happy days.
And Stefan's just like, yeah, kind of saw that coming.
Yeah, and Stefan doesn't really have a means of powering up another attacker easily this turn, I believe. So
no, I mean, well, he does. He has one already ready to go. The issue is it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, sorry, I should specify an attacker that isn't named RCS V.
Yes.
Yeah. So, there goes the level ball.
I think I saw Tim has in hand the Evo Incense, so can actually go grab the big shady dealings again. And in doing so, basically go Melanie plus Energy Search or Capacious Bucket to guarantee it for game.
Yeah, and that will close it out. So Stefan really needs to set up, kind of like he did previously, go for, if he still has access to it, Raihan, and then try to set up the Intellion with the Aqua Bullet in one turn to kind of close the game out that way. But I don't see the Raihan in deck. He does play one, right?
Who?
No, Stefan does play Raihan, right? No. Okay, so actually, yeah, no way for Stefan to set up this Intellion on the bench to do Aqua Bullet this turn, which is a bit of a problem. And I'm sure it's a problem that Stefan recognizes.
Yes.
Because now Tim doesn't need to boss his orders to take the win as long as Stefan attacks with this. It kind of forces the retreat at this point, essentially.
Yep, and we're going to see...
Scoop up net?
Yeah, because you're going to recycle the big shady dealings if you're going to go for any of these like more ambitious lines, but...
Yeah, that is true.
I don't know if there's a line here that doesn't end up with Ice Rider just going, cool, thanks. Yep.
So... the real big shady coming in, and that's maybe get the big charm, so that forces another damage mod. That would maybe work. Big charm on, and then evolve into the Arceus V-Star, because then Tim has to have the Leon, which I think he might have discarded earlier.
Yeah. Oh, true.
That would work.
Protect it for the turn, and the
yeah we can see it. We can have a look now. Was that Leon there I saw?
I didn't see it.
He flicked through. Stefan flicked through a bit too fast. Wait, did he play? No, it might have been last game actually. But I have a vague recollection of the Leon being discarded this game, but I might be mixing up with the last game.
No, if the Leon's in, then we're going to see Leon plus.
Right. No, but it still doesn't matter because if you Leon, you can't Melanie.
True.
Yeah.
Point,
So actually, no, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, Stefan is going to be feeling.
I mean, there's Scrapper still.
There is Scrapper still. There is true. That would also work. And Tim has not used that yet this game. So,
like, you can go Melanie for Melanie Scrapper, and then hope to draw into and out for another energy off the Melanie.
Yeah, that would have to be the play, I think. So, yeah, there's an Evo Incense that should have been discarded, I believe. Yeah, that Evo Incense should be in the discard pile. I mean. Effectively, the game doesn't matter, but at this point. But yeah, that Evo Incense should be in the discard pile 100%.
Sure.
Used it to get back the
V-Star.
Yeah.
So everyone pretend that's not there. If he plays it again, we'll shout.
Yeah.
But we'll all just pretend it's not there.
Yeah. You didn't see anything.
Yeah.
No. Right.
And Stefan should notice now that he's missing a Evo Incense. And
but apparently not.
Just goes in, hits, and goes, right, please don't have the owl.
Yeah, so, Stefan still with the extra Evo Incense in his hand, we should definitely get to...
No, it's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The game's over.
Oh, does he have everything? Evo Incense, and then...
Does he? I don't know if he has the extra energy in hand, but he just needs Melanie plus
Melanie,
Scrapper.
And then is the... Wait, Capacious Bucket?
I
think we might have just been checking it was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, shuffling thoroughly after the fact. So yeah, Tim has a few outs to get this. Like, I'm just drawing a Water Energy or a Capacious Bucket will do the trick here. So yeah, there's going to be a Melanie.
Yep. Melanie gets the thing.
Oh no, it's a miss.
No.
But is there no way to get this Ultra Ball? No, I don't think there is.
No.
You can't even retreat. So actually, wow.
Yeah. Okay. So Stefan actually ends up winning it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, after turns, but it doesn't matter.
But yeah, there we go. So in spite of the result being an ID release, we did see a 4-game to conclusion. So yeah, Stefan won in air quotes, but in reality, yeah, it was an ID. So we will see both of these players in day 2, and yeah, what a finish to what's been honestly an incredible day 1. This has been something that it has been a while, to be fair, and so that sort of factors into it as well. But I can't remember the last time I had so much fun casting over a series of games. And
we've had an awful lot of really good games today, but the action doesn't just happen today. The action will take place tomorrow, kicking off at 9 a.m. sharp as we get into day 2. We aren't done with Swiss. We are at rounds 9. We play till rounds 14, I think, up tomorrow. Another 5 rounds of Swiss. Then we get into the real action of Top Cut. So if you don't like waking up as early as we do, I would set alarms to remind yourself to be here for 9 a.m. And thank you so much for everyone for joining us. Thanks for everyone who's followed today as well, and the new people who've subscribed. A huge thanks to everyone who's been so supportive. It's been a great day.
Yeah, it has. And probably should say as well, importantly, that's 9 a.m. European time.
Yes.
So convert appropriately depending on wherever you are watching from in the world.
Yeah.
But with that is it. That's going to be all from us here at the Bremen Regional Championships for day 1 here in our 2022 edition. So all we have to say is thank you all very much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed day 2, and we hope you tune back in for day 2. Goodbye and good night.
See ya.